Hello, everyone. Good to see your work that has been going for and your great responses. I thought I would do a history of hip hop. I've been meaning to do this, and so just so won't hit everything, but I wanted to encapsulate many of the things you've already been reading and many of the ideas that you already have been putting forth. And then also talk about end up talking about some of the recent artists that are popular, whether you agree with them or not, in a class on hip hop art and culture. We should be thinking about it. And the thing about hip hop, just like social media nowadays and pop culture, artists change so quickly now. When I was younger, people would be popular much longer. Artists could be have staying power for at least a year. But nowadays is with social media and YouTube and uploads and people going viral. Sometimes a person is popular for 6 weeks, a few months, and then they fade out of the limelight. So keep in mind as you listen to this, the people I talk about has a short shelf life often, unless you're talking about somebody larger than life like Jay Z or Beyonce or Snoop. They 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 have so much talent. They're so multifaceted. They know how to stay relevant. Like J. Cole, for example. So let's get into some of the hip hop. Much of it will sound familiar to you, but I thought I would just have a conversation with y'all about hip hop history, culture, and African American studies and Black history. Did want to say I'm glad that we ended up reading Escaping from Home. Let me see if I got my copy here. Because I wanted to ground it in Black history. I wanted to ground the history of hip hop and culture to squarely put it in the history of the African American people. Hip hop comes out of struggle, even the struggle of enslavement, the struggle of civil rights, the struggle of lynching, discrimination. So from 1619 or even before that, the 1500s in Spanish Florida, all the way till now, we can think about the Black struggle, but we don't have to define Blackness in African American history as just struggle. That's a common mistake that enslavement has been profiled. It's understandable. It's been hundreds of years of slavery. If you use the 1619 date, we're talking 300 plus years of enslavement of African American people, and that should always be thought of as the backdrop of struggle and as the foundation of the sort of struggle that is help create hip hop. But we could also talk about other music forms, jazz, the improvisation of jazz, the blues. They all lead to what we call hip hop today, and it's evolving. It is evolving today. But we don't want to just talk about struggle. We want to talk about Black joy, and hip hop is a part of the conversation of Black joy, the beauty and the positive aspects that came out of African American culture and history. As I said, the blues, the jazz, the arts, the poetry tradition, the film tradition. I do some writing and lecturing on the Black film tradition that goes back to 1913 and Black exploitation, the Black kung fu movies, Black African American produced horror films. That has been going on for a very long time. That's all a part of Black joy. So we can talk about struggle and joy. But here we are. We see Lauren Hill. Lauren Hill. I like to talk about Lauren Hill really at the beginning of this conversation because women are often, just like in other aspects of life, they're often marginalized. Now, I'm talking about Blackness because African Americans have been the inventors of hip hop, but we don't want to take away from our Hispanic brethren and the Asian brethren that have been a part of the movements from day one. The B boys were multiracial. They were black, they were Hispanic, they were Asian, they were white. And so it has been a multicultural phenomenon from day one. The breakdancers, the MCs, but it was a black invention. It came out of African American neighborhoods. It's a black art. It was originally a black art form. Of course, it's expanded. You can see hip hop in the Middle East now. But okay, don't want to take from my sister Lauren. Lauren Hill is really a good person to start with this conversation because women have been a part of the hip hop movement from day one. There's been a good deal of the feminist voice, the black feminist voice. Not enough has been highlighted, but women have highlighted feminism and black feminism and the womanist tradition within the place of hip hop, the space of hip hop, and also we've been talking about the sort of Christian hip hop. Lauren Hill identifies as a Christian, a spiritual person. You can actually see it within in the Galt text. We looked at Christian hip hop and the various dynamics. I thought it was a great conversation to talk about spirituality, black spirituality. So we'll say more about that a little bit later. But Lauryn Hill has been indicative of women in hip hop that have been there from day one. Lauryn Hill is multifaceted. She sings and raps, and she embodies hip hop. And individuals often say, well, if a person sings, is that really hip hop? Well, you're limiting what it is. And of course, K Dot or Kendrick Lamar, he calls himself K Dot. That was his early name, even from a child. I was looking at his stuff earlier. He's been embroiled in a battle with Drake and J. Cole, and which brings notoriety to these individuals and brings more record sales. But K Dot took a shot at Drake, and maybe I'll play some of that a little bit later. Which it was the classic R&B battle that the battle rap that people like to hear. So let us move forward here. What is hip hop? Hip hop is a music genre, and this is review. Some of this is review. A music genre, culture, and way of life. Traditionally, hip hop scholars speak of four pillars of hip hop. You have the MC, the DJ, the b-boy, and the graffiti. MC is, speaking on the mic, rapping on the mic. DJ is mixing music together, various records and sounds and beats, and for example, taking one beat from one song and added it to another and making a new creation. That's one of the things that embodies hip hop. B-boying is breakdancing, which you don't see as much. It has evolved, and then graffiti has taken on life of its own. Graffiti is international. You can go to France and see graffiti, and it's beautiful graffiti. It's not all vandalism. That's what you have to understand too. Um, Hip hop culture also includes music, visual and performing arts, fashion, a big part of it, language, film, like Breaking One and Two, Break Street. There's some good hip hop films out there, and we've watched The Warriors, which is during the 80s, the gener the early days of hip hop culture during that time period. I wanted us to see the social historic backdrop of hip hop when you watch The Warriors, tech, and consciousness, and much more. So if you haven't watched The Warriors, definitely watch that. It's free online now. You can see the early gang life and the culture. It's glorified to a certain extent, but it's indicative of the early days of hip hop. And you see DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know him from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. But before Will Smith, he was DJ Jazzy Jeff from the Fresh Prince. They were a duo, and they were quite successful. But DJ Jazzy Jeff is a bona fide DJ. Sometimes we forget that. You see examples of the breakdancing, and he's Asian. We talked about the multicultural aspects of hip hop, and the Asian community has really taken breakdancing to another level. If you watch shows like America's Best Dance Crew, America's Got Talent, many times you'll see the Asian dance crews highlighted. And then you see the graffiti there, some really beautiful graffiti. Um, some of the best MCs lyrics in Dr. Child's opinion. I'll give you some samples. I'm not going to play a whole lot of them, but Nas is one of the best MCs, so I'm going to just play some music here for you, and let's see what how my sound works out here. Um, I'm going to try to navigate around here, see if I can find a good window. It's while I'm doing this, I'll continue to share my thoughts here. Um, Nas is one of he's one of the East Coast rappers, and if you're not familiar with rap, the various regions have um, different styles. I guess that's how I would put it. Once upon a time in the '90s, the '80s, the late '80s, throughout the '90s, East Coast rappers were known as being intellectual, and they will stem from a religious movement that came out of the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nations of Earths and Gods. And folks like Wu Tang highlighted it. A guy named U God, he was a part of the Wu Tang movement, Wu Tang Clan, Busta Rhymes. They were intellectual rappers. KRS-One talks about dropping science, dropping knowledge. And Nas is really from that tradition, I would say. He's a New York rapper, very wise and intelligent. Marcus is a connoisseur. Let's listen to let me listen. Let's listen to some of Nas's stuff here. I think I got it pulled up here. Get rid of this commercial. Here we go. And I'm going to back up, share my screen for that particular song. Yep, right here. Let me turn on the sound, and we can listen to a little music in the interest of time. We won't listen to all of it.
This remix goes out to everybody out there that call themselves keeping it real. From yours truly, Escobar and Big R. From New York to Chi-Town, check it out now. Commissioner Steve Staff, Track Masters, QB. Check it. Low profile, rap style, slick is new now. Give the crew pounds every time we cover new ground. Still surviving, but there's a few down. Back in the essence, I'm asking questions on the phone with jail adolescents. Quiet confessions, the system's applying the pressure. My mind is guessing, is living and dying a lesson. But not to be obliged with the mirage of cars. Take me off track from what the guards focus on hard. Laid up smoking cigars, motion and maze to bring me toast and eggs kosher. Ice chokers and hopes to smoke ya. My wisdom culture lives in ultra madness. Devoted coach bag.
So Nas, well, let me skip past that scene.
The average hopes to get mad rich, but what's the purpose? Only
Nas is a storyteller, and to a certain extent, he's a socially conscious rapper. And but he's going to give you the real and the gritty. He's not going to sugarcoat it. But you can understand what he's saying. Nowadays, a lot of rap is kind of, there's a style of blurring things together and purposely enunciating words incorrectly seems to be the style. But Nas was a very clear rapper. But he's one of the OGs now. He's been out a long time.
the guards can watch the earth twist. I'm physically trapped down on the surface with all the crack merchants, snakes and serpents, foul jakes that searches, clowns with 4 pounds. This ain't a circus. Street dreamer, oh mercy me, ain't nothing out there for you, nothing out there for you. Situations getting heavy, trying to be a gangster. Black clouds over the hood, I'm on the corner with the thugs. Late night under the moon as they assume I'm slinging drugs, cause I'm hooded up. Thought a G at night wasn't good enough. Push my luck, yo, they had a brother put in cuffs. Luckily, made it out of court comfortably. Judge said I need a job, ain't nothing coming free. Could've got a 1 to 3.
And so this is a positive, it's a warning against the drug game. Street Dreams is what it's called. So let's listen to a little more music. Let's go to a piece by Eminem, There's a whole I could say quite a bit about Eminem, but there's a whole debate still today about whether or not, to what extent, white rappers are accepted. Um, if you remember, uh, rappers like Third Base and the Beastie Boys early on, one of the probably the early famous white rappers. From day one, um, white folks were involved in the hip hop movement, and hip hop actually came out of punk rock. A lot of hip hop the early days, the hip hop. You may have read this in the text. The hip hop movement really was connected to the punk movement. It's rebellious music, uh, Rage Against the Machine, um, and so and to me, the Beastie Boys sounds a bit like punk. Their whole disposition is punkish, like the punk movement. So, but Eminem, you guys know Eminem. Eminem was he's a bona fide MC. He's very talented, but people don't want to give him credit because he's white. But at the same time, people often want to say he's the best rapper because he's white. So there's some racism involved as well. People want to. Many people are just saying he's a good rap. He's the best rapper. He's doing it better than black people. But so that's always been the debate anyway. Like, um, come on in. He's always doing. There's always debate um, that he's the best rapper. So
Look,
let's listen in to Eminem.
I was going to go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings, but I'm only.
This is called Rap God, and um, and this is indicative of Eminem's MC style.
Going to get this one chance. Something's wrong. I can feel it. It's just a feeling I've got. Like something's about to happen, but I don't know what. If that means what I think it means, we're in trouble. Big trouble. And if he is bananas, as you say, I'm not taking any chances. You just want to start.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god, rap god. All my people from the front to the back nod, back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box, slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me rap bot. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes. I got a laptop in my back pocket, my pinnacle walk when I hat cock it. Got a fat nap from that rap profit, made a living and a killing off it. Ever since.
So I want you to think about Eminem's wordplay. It's poetry. People that are not hip hop fans, they think hip hop is garbage and people are mumbling. You might get that sense nowadays from many rappers, but if you listen to the intelligence and the wordplay and the metaphors and the similes that Eminem uses, it's very fascinating. The way he has counter beats and he stays on beat with his wordplay, and it's quite impressive. But at the same time, the whole debate is when you get a white rapper like this, people quickly say that he's the best. And arguably, he is the best. But take Elvis, for example. Elvis grew up in black churches, he grew up around black people, and he was singing black music. In fact, when Elvis first came out, and people heard the record, they didn't see him. They thought he was a black artist. He was doing black music. And then when he became popular, everybody said he was the best, but he was just simply doing what black folks had been doing all along. And so, same thing with Eminem. So let's listen to a little bit more, and then we'll move on.
Bill Clinton was still in office with Monica Lewinsky filling on his nutsack. I'm an MC, still as honest, but as rude and as indecent as all hell. Syllables, killaholic. Kill 'em all. This libbity, gibbity, hibbity, hip hop. You don't really want to get into a piss and match with this rappity rap pack and a mac in the back of the yak backpack rap rap yap 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 kitty yak nap. The exact same time I attempt these lyrical acrobat stunts while I'm practicing that, I'll still be able to break a motherfucking table over the back of a couple of faggots and crack it in half. Only realized it was ironic. I was under aftermath after the fact. How could I not blow? All I do is drop F-bombs. In my wrath of attack, rappers are having a rough time period. Here's a maxi pad.
It's actually disastrously bad for the whack while the masterfully constructing this masterpiece.
Cause I'm beginning to feel like a rap god, rap god. All my people from the front to the back, nod, back nod.
Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box, slap box?
Let me show you maintaining this shit ain't that hard, that hard.
Everybody want the key and the secret to rap immortality like I have got.
Will there be truth for the blueprints? Simply rage and youthful exuberance. Everybody loves to root for a nuisance. Hit the earth like an asteroid, did nothing but shoot for the moon since.
Even the concept is impressive. He's playing with this theme of divinity. Your arms are too short to box with God. He's playing with that theme in his hook that you can't, and that's a part of hip hop too, as you all know, to brag and to say that you're the best. And Eminem has a lot to brag about, and he's basically saying, "Don't even try it. Like your arms are too short to even get into the ring with me." So that's just a little bit of Eminem if you're not familiar with his style. Let's maybe do one more, and then I'll move forward. I want to do, oh, it's so many. I haven't even done a female artist yet. Okay, let's do MC Light. Her stuff is more positive. This is more classic. I was going to talk about Big L too, but in the interest of time, Big L was a rapper from the New York genre. He was killed early on. That's another thing. There's a number of hip hop artists that have died because of the lifestyle that's associated with it. But just I need to play a female artist just to pay homage to women in hip hop, as I said earlier. This is MC Light. Her stuff is from the 80s and 90s. And she's one of the pioneers of hip hop. Females have always had to fight really to have a relevant voice in the hip hop movement. So let us look at MC Light. I'll do a little bit of hers, and then I want to do MF Doom because it's so different. MF Doom is he's these guys create their own characters in hip hop. These alter egos, and MF Doom is really an interesting person. So, but let's look at MC Light. This is Paper Thin. Make sure my sound is right too.
Wait, what you stopping for? Y'all want to take the subway?
The subway?
I just got this feeling I want to take the subway.
You got this bad jet sitting there and you want to take the subway?
Yo, D, what's
Make sure my volume's up. There we go.
up with her?
Cash, go with her.
What she want to take the subway for?
I don't know. I'm going to take a call home. We out of here.
Attention passengers, we are temporarily being held in the station due to cross signals. We will be moving shortly. Thank you.
When you say you love me, it doesn't matter. It goes into my head as just chit chatter. You may think it's egotistical or just very free.
Okay, a couple of things I want you to think about. Don't be distracted by the time period. This is cool. This is a history class. Also, I want you to think about hairstyles. I want you to see the clothing style, even the graininess of the footage. This is New York. This is late 80s, early 90s New York. And again, the birthplace of hip hop, one of the birthplaces of hip hop, the main birthplace. I mean, we can go back to Jamaica earlier. But really the birthplace is New York. And she's on the subway. Subway is a part of New York culture. So it's not an accident that she says, I want to go on the subway in her little skit. But listen to how innocent is the word I want to use. Her hip hop is. I'm going to play a little bit. I'm going to apologize earlier. I might play a little bit of Doja Cat. And those that know Doja Cat. And then a couple of other female artists of today that we'll compare, okay?
But what you say, I take none of it seriously. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you so. I'd let you pretend to read me, and then you'd know. Cause I hate when one attempts to analyze. In fact, I despise those who even try to look into to my eyes to see what I am thinking. That dream is over, your yacht is sinking. I tell all of you, like I told all of them, what you say to me is just paper thin. Word.
It even had a rock element to it. That's something you won't hear today. So let me keep going.
I'm not the kind of girl to try to play a man out. I take the money and again, then break the hell out. No, that's not my strategy, not the game I play. I admit I play a game, but it's not done that way. Truly, when I get involved, I give it my heart. I mean, my mama sold my body, I mean, every part. But if it doesn't work out, yo, it just doesn't. It wasn't meant to be, you know, it just wasn't. So I treat all of you like I treat all of them. And what you say to me is still paper thin.
I see rap as having evolved. This is still the early days of rap. Basic, simplistic rhymes. It doesn't mean it's bad or that it's not a well written song, but in many ways, like if you looked at Eminem stuff, it's much more complex, and they're doing different kinds of things with the beat. Some of the early rappers got into doing some of this, like Rakim. His stuff was more ahead of his time, but you hear more basic rhymes during that time period. Um, Let me go ahead and just play Ice Spice while I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to apologize to those that I know many people don't listen to this kind of music. I don't either. I'm familiar with it. But we can think about it in terms of history, in terms of culture. This is Ice Spice in the Mood. I want you to juxtapose this. I can't help but use the word innocent. Juxtapose this with MC Light, who's one of the pioneers of hip hop. I would be interested in talking to MC Light um, to see what she thinks of some of the modern music, modern female hip hop artists. Female hip hop artists are very interesting because they're often sexualized. Some female artists, many today, like Sexy Red, for example, they want to be sexualized. But the feminist movement, if you think about Black feminism and the message in feminism, is there's a couple of things going on, but the main thing is we want to be thought of as human. We don't want to be objectified. We don't want to. We want our you to appreciate for us for our talent, our art, our intellect, and not just see us as sexual. But the sort of third and fourth wave feminists, if really third wave, there's no fourth wave. But if you said if there's a fourth wave, they say we want to reclaim our body and we want to be sexual unapologetically. We shouldn't have to worry about what the male thinks. But the classic feminists will push back against that and say, well, even back in Africa, Black women were, or enslavement, Black women were sexualized, and they were utilized for their bodies. So I want you to think about all of that history as we watch Ice Spice.
Like damn, she in her move. Like damn, she in her move. Like damn, she in her move.
Stop playing with him, Riot.
Like damn, she in her move. 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 She lit, get money too. Like damn, she in her move. In the mirror, I'm doing my dance. Ain't you packing out nobody's pants. He a rapper, but don't got a chance. Stuck in my waist, so I'm loving my bands. Like 1 million views in a day. There's so many ways to get paid. I tried dipping, he begged me to stay.
Okay, think about how clear. Think about MC Light, how she was trying to rap in a way that you understand her. But modern hip hop is we're not concerned about whether people understand us fully. It's more of a style, even saying things correctly. Like I don't even know. Certain words that are popular to say incorrectly, I guess. That's part of the style. Like some of the down south, the southern hip hop, they say words in a way. Like even Migos, they say certain words in a certain way that's cool to say it. incorrectly, I guess I would say. Um, and whereas MC Light and the early artists were more interested in using standard English in their hip hop, there was some slang, but not to the extent that you see it today. You might disagree with that, but that's my observation. Let's watch a little bit more. This is not something I would watch, though. I just want y'all to know that.
Babe, I'm not staying, I just wanna play. In the party, he just wanna rump. Big boobs in the bus, they plump. She a baddie, she know she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friend. They like, I tell you, always stay hot. Oh, they mad cause I keep making bops. Oh, she mad cause I'm taking her spot. If I was bitches, I'd hate me a lot.
Okay, so that's a little bit of Ice Spice. We could watch Doja Cat too. I probably won't watch any Doja Cat, but that would be another example of a contemporary female artist. Um, I'm going to show Baby Kia a little bit later, perhaps. I don't know. Baby Kia is a rapper that's in trouble, a hip hop artist. He was a 15-year-old artist that was in trouble for trying to attempted murder on his school bus, and he does very violent rap. But I want to show you MF Doom. MF Doom is an interesting figure. I'm going to pull up a write up of MF Doom really quickly, so that you can understand MF Doom's work. He's one of my favorite rappers in the sense that his character his name is Daniel Dumille. His stage name is MF Doom. He was actually from Britain. He was noted for his intricate wordplay, his signature metal mask, and you should look his stuff up. He passed in 2020. He had a persona of a supervillain. He was a comic book guy. Some rappers are very, very, very creative. So that's why I say it's an art form. All rap is not shoot 'em up, kill 'em up, rump shaking your behind like, like Sexy Red and Ice Spice, and some people that's what they prefer. I don't, but I want you to understand hip hop as a continuum. Hip hop is can thought of as a continuum. Okay, so on one hand, on the right, if you think of a line, a continuum, on the right you have socially conscious hip hop, and on the left you have the sort of uh, negative rap, drugs, and many artists stay somewhere in the middle of that. But you have a spectrum. I would say MF Doom is more on the right, socially conscious, creative. He created these superheroes, almost like Wu Tang too. They created a whole movement around martial arts movies, and they name the Wu Tang Clan names their album after famous martial arts movies. They were brothers that were into black dudes that were into martial arts, which we all were in the 80s and 90s, and they named one of their albums "Enter the Wu Tang," and then they would talk about chess boxing, which was a particular famous, well-known martial arts movie, and so these guys are super creative, and I think one of the best examples of this is MF Doom. He began performing at open mic events while wearing a metal mask. People to this day I can't remember what he looks like because he always performs in his mask, resembling the Marvel comic supervillain Doctor Doom, who was depicted on the cover of his 1990 album, and he adopted MF Doom persona. So just wanted to give you a little bit about him, and we'll listen to some MF Doom here. And then you'll get it. In many ways, there's no better way to do this stuff than to listen to the music. And sometime I've done this class live. Admittedly, this is a lot easier to do when when we're doing it live, because we can kind of listen to it in real time and talk about it. But this is where we are. So let me pull this up really quickly. This is from Doomsday. I was trying to find one where he's live. Okay, here's one. This is called Governor. He spells it wrong though. No, this is JJ Doom. That's not what I'm looking for.
With national reading scores unchanged for decades, can we make real literacy change? For 40 years, Lexia.
And so while I'm ready to pull this video up, there are different kinds of. Remember when we talked in the class about horrorcore hip hop? Some of his stuff borders that. Okay, this is an okay one, but this is the one I found. I wanted you to see him in his mask. This is an okay example, but let's go with this one. Okay, let's listen in to MF Doom. Excuse the language.
He told her, I will rock this microphone always. I hold the mic like niggas hold their girls tight, but I ain't after her. Probably the act of a pearl white, the hook or not. And many times down and hit it. Just be specific on times and dimes in the prison. When you broke north, I crashed the barbecue like Riddick at the Garden Truth. That's the Garden.
Okay, so you see that. To me, is not the best song. When I say he's one of my favorite rappers, not lyricist, but his personality just simply fascinates me. Here's one called Mad Villain. This is a little bit better lyrics. Make sure you guys can see it.
Two most powerful villains of the next decade
is turned loose to strike terror into the hearts of men. To shock women into uncontrolled hysteria.
Don't touch that! The villains themselves were ultimately responsible for much of the popularity. Audiences love to hate. The importance of the villain was not overlooked. Of course, one of the worst of all was the Mad Villain. They had no code of ethics.
What's the matter? I was only trying to...
Get to work on these boys. Anybody bring a gun for me?
Yeah, here's one.
It's not one, but two.
Typical villain releases included...
I know they're going to kiss me, but don't let anyone see me like that, please, Doctor!
The jar is under the bed.
Look at all these elaborate intros and sound.
Tripping off the beat, kinda dripping off the meat grinder. Heat niner, pimping, stripping, soft, sweet minor. China was a neat sign of trouble with the script digits. Double dip, bubble lip, subtlest midget. Borderline schizo, sorta fine, tits though. Porter wine, order grind, 8:45, let's go. Ever since 10-11, glad she made a brethren. Then his last down, 7 alligator, 7 at the gates of heaven, knocking, no answer. Slow dancer, hopeless romancer, dopest flow stanzas. Yes, no, villain, metal face to Destro. Guess so, still incredible in escrow.
If you took the time to listen to the lyrics, he's a very intelligent writer. His themes are disturbing. He would also fit in that horrorcore genre as well. Let us go back to this presentation here. Let me move forward in the interest of time here. So those are some samples. I want you to think about some of your favorite hip hop artists. What do you like about them and their music? You might look at, for example, Tupac. All of his stuff wasn't violent. You should check out Dear Mama if you're not familiar with that. That's classic hip hop. There's no profanity in it. And as you've been exposed to some of the Christian hip hop artists that we talked about, we read the Galt text. Lecrae, for example, is pretty much mainstream. He comes out of the Christian genre, but he's been more mainstream lately. Just a little bit hip hop. This is review. Kool Herc, the father of hip hop, he was Jamaican born, raised in the Bronx. He created the blueprint for hip hop music and culture based on the Jamaican tradition of toasting, impromptu, boastful poetry, speech over music, which he witnessed as a youth in Jamaica. This provided the base for emceeing, rhythmic delivery of rhymes and wordplay. Rapping is derived from the griots. So there's hip hop, there's a history, much history behind hip hop that goes back to West Africa and the Jamaican style of toasting. Um, Hip hop had, as we know it, started in the late 1970s. Herc, the father of hip hop, developed breakbeat, which included cutting and scratching in a record, usually a disco. For example, they used the 1970s Donna Summers beat. You also notice much of a big influence of James Brown in the 1960s and 1970s music. A lot of Black culture listened to James Brown. So when the hip hop artists began to create beats, they used a lot of James Brown samples. I'm moving kind of a little bit faster. There's so much I want to play, but I'm not going to do it. DJ Kool Herc began organizing dance parties in his home in the Bronx to keep kids out of trouble. So early hip hop was more of something to do, have a party, an innocent party, keep kids off the street. The parties became so popular, they were moved to outdoor venues to accommodate more people. City teenagers, after years of gang violence, were looking for new ways to express themselves. These outdoor parties, hosted in parks, became a means of expression and an outlet for teenagers. They were, instead of getting in trouble in the streets, teens now had a place to expend their pent-up energy. This is during the time of the Warriors movie. I mentioned the Warriors movie earlier. Watch the Warriors. You have not, and you can get a sense of what it was like in New York during this time period. The first rap recordings were in 1979. The Fatback Band recorded King Tim III, and Sugar Hill Gang recorded Rapper's Delight. Rapper's Delight would go on to be a huge popular success and lead the way for all future rap. Mr. Magic's Rap Attack will become the first hip hop radio show. Just continuing the history. In the 1980s, hip hop began to directly focus on political and social issues more. People like Run DMC. By the mid 1980s, what they call the new school hip hop is old now, became more majorly popular. The two races were combined and Walk This Way by Aerosmith. So Aerosmith was a well-known, as you guys, I don't have to say this, but Aerosmith was a well-known rock band that were for white audiences. They were very popular in the 80s, but they combined with Run DMC, which was a Black hip hop artist group, and it popularized rap and became mainstream. It made it more mainstream with the blending of hip hop and rock music in the 1980s. With the growth of white audience came the onset of white rap performers. We talked earlier about the Beastie Boys. Breakdancing crews, breakdancing, street dancing crews, beatboxing, graffiti artists. They were really popular at that particular time. I'm going to see if this clip works. If not, I'm going to move on. Beatboxing has kind of gone out of style now. Beatboxing used to be a major integral part of hip hop, and you had like the Fat Boys. You had a group called the Fat Boys. If you haven't seen the Fat Boys yet, check them out. To me, their wordplay is terrible, but their lyricism is terrible. But I have to pay homage to them. They were one of the early hip hop people, and they were gimmicky. Some of the groups, hip hop is they have a gimmick. They have like MF Doom and his mask, and often it's clever. The Fat Boys were okay, but they had quite a bit of popularity. They were in a movie called The Disorderly Orderlies of the '80s, which was really corny, but they were in movies and everything during their day. But let's listen to a Dougie Fresh interview about hip hop from 1996. He's one of the early major hip hop artists. So this is beatboxing, okay?
Do you know the kid who's living 2 houses from here?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Don't you know?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know him personally. You know.
You know Dougie Fresh?
Yes, I know him, yeah.
Do you know his records?
Yeah, but you know, I'm not about that kind of fella. That's them kids.
You're not into rap music?
No, not really. Not really.
Come on.
Oh, shit. All right. This is called the clicks, right? Go like this. Right? And I can do it in a whole lot of different ways. I can make it sound fast. I can make it sound slow. I can make it sound any way I want it to. Like, for instance, I could go like this. That's it. I can do it like that. I can play anything that I want to play. I can play anything you can think of. If it's a record, if it's a beat, if it's anything that you know, that's within sense of playing, I can play it. You know, and it's just a gift. And I just do what I feel with it. Right now, rap music is top. Rap music is #1 over here. Rap music is ruling. Mm-hmm. We coolin' and rap music is ruling. Mm-hmm. And we stand here and we represent rap music because it's kind of different. It's like the way rock and roll was back in the days. The way they wouldn't accept rock and roll to the fullest, but now they're accepting it. And we going through the same thing that they went through. And it's the younger people speaking up. It's all the younger people speaking up. We represent the way that the younger people feel, and so we saying it. And a lot of younger people have these older idols to look up to, and these idols look soft. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's nothing the matter with having long hair, but for you to wear eyeliner and blush and lipstick and to let your fingernails grow so long and all of this and all of that is cool if you still representing things like a man. But a lot of younger brothers and sisters, you know, they look at these young rap stars and they can see that they represent something that's real. We don't wear no glitter and stuff. Only thing we wear that glitter on us is our gold, and we wear gold because it's natural. There's nothing fake about it. The main message to our rap music is have something to believe in and be yourself, and let people hear that we're not as stupid and as ignorant as.
And so that's Dougie Fresh speaking his views on hip hop and rap. Let's go back to the PowerPoint here. Let me make sure you can see this. So that was Dougie Fresh. He was demonstrating beatboxing, which was amazing, but that's kind of lost popularity. Both a cultural hip hop was both a cultural movement and a genre of music developed in New York in the 1970s, primarily by African Americans. We talked about rap, DJing, breakdance, graffiti, the 4 elements. This is, you see a combination of breakdancing and graffiti, which was more prevalent and prominent in the 80s and 90s. I would say more the 80s and kind of phased out into the 90s. With so more pictures of b-boying, breakdancing. It was very physical kind of dancing. It has evolved. We want to think about how hip hop has evolved from its roots into the multi-billion-dollar enterprise it is today. You see Jay-Z, which was one of the hip hop's first billionaires, and you see Cardi B, who, if you're not familiar with her music, she's one of the females that I would put in the category of Ice Spice, or Lotto is another well-known female hip hop artist. Cardi B is a mom now, and then sometimes women have to think about where they're going in when they have children now, what kind of music will they put out? It's one thing when you're a single woman and you don't have any children and you're putting out certain kinds of music, but one of the conflicts these artists, both male and females, have to think about. I even heard Snoop talk about this. Snoop Dogg in his early music, he was a gangster rapper. He talked about killing people. He talked about smoking weed all the time. He talked about being in drive-bys, and now he was saying that he's evolved and he's doing other kinds of things now. He's a father now. He's a husband. He's got to think about different kinds of things. And I see Cardi B thinking about that. She's been involved in some of the politics of the day, and she's quite intelligent. Sometimes she doesn't come across that way, but she is. And so hip hop is very complex. What is hip hop? It's a music genre. We already talked about this here. Music genre. Looked at that slide already. I went back to the beginning. Excuse me. Okay. So I'll just end with this here. Hip hop has evolved, and I guess I will show you where one of the areas it is today that I want y'all to think about. I'm going to go with something kind of controversial. I talked about Baby Kia. Baby Kia, or Baby Key, is a controversial young man. I think he's indicative of what some young people are listening to, not all. I don't want to generalize. I don't want to stereotype. There's an element of hip hop called drill rap that I want you to be thinking about. Especially those that are not even into hip hop and you don't listen to violent music or music with cursing in it, or sexual music or what have you. I want you to think about why young people are listening to this kind of music, why our society has evolved into this. I'm not making any judgment right now. I'm just speaking about it from a cultural standpoint. You've seen where we come from with MC Light to Ice Spice, from the early days of hip hop, Sugar Hill Gang, to Baby Keith, which we're going to listen to right now, or even Eminem stuff is tamed compared to some of the stuff we listen to from Eminem is tame compared to where we are today. MF Doom, if you listen to his lyrics, he's a disturbing guy. MF Doom, some of the stuff he says is disturbing, but I love his style, his cartoon character style, and I wish we can listen to some Wu-Tang, but we don't have time. But this is where we are today. This is recent. Perhaps by the time you listen to this, or somebody listens to this next year, it will have evolved. But this is recent. This is Baby Kia. And he's the young man I was telling you about. At the time, he's 15 in this video, 15 or 16. And he went on the bus and with the intent of murdering another classmate. He's a teenage phenomenon, and his music is very violent. This is the drill rap. So I wanted to expose you to this, okay? I'm not saying go home and listen to it unless you want to, but I just want to, for the intellectual conversation of hip hop, think about this. It's a very religious thing too. I did want to say this. This is important to say. Like Dr. Child, let us listen to this, please. But we've been talking a lot about religion and hip hop and spirituality with the gold text. There's a lot of religious themes in Baby Kia's music that may be disturbing, but I think it's fascinating that he's playing with this subject matter.
Cut all that nigga eyes, that nigga over with. Nigga thought I was lacking walking out bleeding, nigga. That's my hood, dickhead. No, I got some big shit. Extra bullets in my jumpsuit too. Walk around this bitch like mega man. That nigga free take K. Nigga blood, nigga. Yeah. Walking down bleeding with that stick. Extra bullets in.
Okay, I do want to say something in the sense of being responsible. In my neighborhood, that I grew up in, there was a lot of killing and deaths, and it's worse now. The neighborhood where my church is now, there's a lot of teenage murders. I will make some commentary, and I'm interested in your thoughts. a lot of some of the newer music. I don't only want to say newer music because Snoop and those guys did the same thing. Snoop and Dr. Dre, but it's very violent. I think we saw a simmering down of violent hip hop, but then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but a gradual rise to where there's a glorification of violence. These are children, by the way. Some of these guys are. It's very violent. You can't understand what he's saying, but I think for a clash like this, we need to be thinking about this. Why a generation would migrate towards this music. It's not just Black kids listening to this music. They're suburban white kids, so I don't want you to stereotype and say this is just Black kids listening to this. Record companies are producing this stuff, and so in many ways, we can't put all the blame on the artists. There are people making money off of these guys, and so this is what people are buying.
Jumpsuit, I can't wait to let it hit. B12 barking down that street, you know that BK pull off smashing. Shoot the cameras out, then walk them down. Nobody know what happened. Late, I don't know why he dissing Mari like we don't know where he stayed. Bullet tray, bump out the TA, start the boss right, no play. Niggas know we OD crashing. Pulled through maze and work that cage. His mama swore he was a good child, soon as that little boy get paid. BA, Cadillac can't drive straight. Highway, blue light, tell the guy get sideways. Turn behind me in that caddy with those sticks, I can't go. Whole city fucking with this shit, even got all still in my flow.
There's so much we could say about that. We've had an opportunity to see. We're looking for not one to end with one more, but there's so much we could say about that. I want to play a song called "We Gonna Be All Right." This is by a Christian artist, Ty Tribbett, and I think this is a good place to end this conversation. This is one of the songs I like, and to be candid, this is something I would listen to. But this is based on it's a utilization of the trap genre, trap music. It's a trap beat. Okay, it's not the trap subject matter, because trap means to sell drugs. But this is a trap beat, and it's a positive song. I think it's a good juxtaposition to a lot of the stuff we're seeing now. Baby Key is in prison right now, Baby Kia, and there's a movement of trying to do what you rap about. Nobody wants to be thought of as soft or fake. So when they rap about things, they want to be out in the neighborhood doing it. So if they're raping women, they want to be out there doing it. If they're killing people, they want to be out there trying to do that to prove authenticity in the streets. But at the same time, that's not what all rap is doing. That's not what J. Cole and Kendrick are talking about. That's not what Ty Tribbett is talking about. So let's just listen to a little of this to put a positive spin on the conversation.
The Cantina Chicken Quesadilla isn't just for late night.
And it shows the complexity of hip hop. Okay, that's what I want us to be thinking about.
It gets so hard, just trying to figure it out, fighting down, trying to believe God, trying to watch the words in my mouth and stay on the ride. Trouble come and go, even on the mountain high or the valley low. Never let your faith go. Oh, never let your faith go. Yeah, I've been there before, so confused, don't know which way to go. Stressed out, world so crazy, might as well stay in the house. Fear trying to rise up. Got terrorists disguised, they look like us, but we know who we trust. Trust when I say that we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, we gon' be alright. Alright. Say we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, we gon' be alright. You say we gon' be alright. Alright. evil times will come and it's here today. Look at all the hate, senseless crime and murder. Every day, human trafficking, racism, police brutality, bullying, rape, child molestation, shady appearance of evil. Let your kingdom come, let your will be done in the earth. Let your glory rise, let your sun shine, let it burn through the dawn. Hey, even through the storm and the rain, we will shout, cause we know after the night, say it, we gon' be alright. Hey, all things work together for good, we gon' be alright.
And so I want us to think about, as we think about this art form, we must not despair. Maybe even there are individuals that listen to something like Baby Keith, but we must not despair because there's imbalance there. And I think somebody like Ty Tribbett is going to offer hope to those in the streets, because persons like myself, I'm around inner city all the time, and we've had several funerals, even at my church, of teenage deaths and the gun violence, and we see it indicative in music like Baby Keith. But somebody like Ty Tribbett is going to put a positive message out there. I hope you got something out of this. I'm going to put some questions out there. I want you to view it and respond to some prompts. Won't be anything major. But I'll see y'all next time. If you have any questions, let me know.